cost of living in the Philippines. Now, I paid 10,000 pesos for this pressure washer from China, and I'm going to give you a minimum of 12 things that were wrong the day I took it home. And Daisy, go get the wand as well. The first thing that was wrong, the hose and the wand, please. The first thing that was wrong, well, this bracket here, this bracket bent within about 10 hours of use. It's already bent 1/4 of an inch. So the motor is sitting on an angle and the belts are wearing out uneven. This is one major flaw in this pressure washer. Second major flaw, this was cracked right from the factory. They had to replace it at BUILDERWARE. I bought this at BUILDERWARE. Now, the primary thing of a pressure washer is the wand. And yesterday, I was using the wand, and this nozzle, I guess you would call it, toy nozzle, blew out because these threads, just from the pressure of the pressure washer, stripped the threads out of the inside of this fitting. So that's 3 major things that are wrong. But another major problem, this is the 4th one. This valve was a check valve, a pressure relief, like poppet type spring valve. It does not work. You have to maneuver this back and forth, and then if that doesn't work, turn one of these valves on and off to kind of shock the valve into working. There's some sort of a burr, or the chamber was not milled or machined properly. So what you get is low pressure until you do something like this and close them really quick. You shock the valve into working. Another thing is this brand new fitting. This is the 4th problem. 5th problem is these are like a cast iron metal. It rusted day 1, and then the 2 hoses. Let's go get the 2 hoses. The 2 hoses are so rusty that if you don't use it for a few days, you actually have to run let it go, honey. Let it go. You have to run a wire brush on the inside of the hose. These things are only 2 weeks old. This hose is maximum. That's 1, and that's 2. So you actually have to put a wire brush into the 2 fittings. This is for the suction, and this is for the return. And there's so much rust around the outside of it, you have to spin it around several times to make a seal. So that's the 5th thing, is the valve, the pressure valve. And then those 2 hoses are number 6 and number 7. But it gets better. I had to take this switch apart. It wasn't working. It had fallen apart over here. The wires just fell apart. I thought it was the switch, but I had taken that apart. That's number 7. Number 8 is this straddle from the vibration does not stay on high or low. I think I have to take this off and adjust that. So Daisy holds it on if I want high pressure, but she has to be next to the machine anyway to make sure that the water stays full. That's number 8. Number 9 is a big one. If it says that the gasoline is on this way, there's the word on right there, but actually on is this way. And what they did is they put this little sticker here to show you that the gasoline is on this way, and that this stamped plastic, this is number 9, the stamped plastic is the wrong decision. And also the same is true for the choke. So I put the words up here. So that's number 9 and number 10. Number 11, when I opened this up, this gas cap, this flange on the this was so sharp, it was a razor sharp. it's a stamped product, and they didn't deburr it with a wire brush. So when I opened it up, it ripped my thumb open right down through the skin and into the meat. But here's, and that's number 10. Now, here, Daisy, hold the bottom of the, see, and now number 11 is you have to pull this off of the cap and put it in here. Otherwise, it comes off with the cap. It doesn't stay in there. So I would think that's a manufacturer's defect, considering I had a Honda. So that's number 11. I think we're up to number 11. Number 12 are the belts. Oh, number 12 is that this does not stay parallel to the pipes, to the well, we'll just call them the running pipes. The frame doesn't stay parallel to the frame. So what you have to do is you have to put this block of wood in there and then tighten it so that it stays parallel. That's number 12. Number 13 is that there wasn't enough of an adjustment here to tighten up the belts. Either the belts were the wrong size, too big, or this is the way it is, and there wasn't enough adjustment for the first half hour of running it. After that, the belts were flopping around like a flounder out of water. So I had to put 5/8 of an inch of washers on this brand new thing, because when the belts are tight, I ran out of threads over here. That's number 13, I think. Number 14 is, considering that this didn't stay parallel, this was off center, the motor. It was off center. That's number 15. Plus it was on an angle like this, on an angle like that. That's 17 things. And then all of the chassis bolts that bolts the motor into the framework, all of the bolts were loose. So after 20 minutes of running, the bolts, one bolt fell out. Now, number 19 is that the seal on this, as you can see, leaks oil. The seal on the bottom is it's a hard rubber gasket, but it leaks right from day one. It leaked. That's number 19. And I think that about covers it. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to weld a piece of steel on the bottom of this. Is a brand new machine now. It has about 15 hours of running time, and this is, as I showed you in the beginning of the video, bent about, well, it was a 1/4 inch. I started to bend it back, but the weight of this motor bent this down. You can see it's just a piece of tin. It's just a very thin piece, 16, maybe 18 gauge metal here, and it's a soft metal like that. So those are the 19 things wrong with the this pressure washer, which is a Habaru pressure washer. It gives you good pressure, but this piston system over here, the grease, they have a grease cap system where you screw these caps off.